We have seen 10-figure business deals breaking the Trump family's way for rare earth minerals and for cryptocurrency. The Wall Street Journal editorial board writes, assuming all of this is legal, it's still an unseemly display of using the presidency for family profit. It's hard to believe the Trump boys would be able to do the same deals if Dad wasn't in the Oval Office. The main difference between Hunter Biden's foreign dealings and the Trump projects is that the Trumps are brazenly open about theirs.
Hold on a second. This is a Fox News report?
Donald Trump has turned the White House into his own ATM.
Last year, the Wall Street Journal reported about Binance, the crypto exchange. Binance took steps that catapulted the Trump family venture's new stablecoin product, enhancing its credibility and pushing its market capitalization up from $127 million to over $2.1 billion.
Fox News with the caption, biggest grift of all time? I mean, somebody get the Colbert popcorn meme at the ready. See, Trump's annual financial disclosure was released on Tuesday by the U.S. Office of Government Ethics, his first time reporting since second term as president. And the figures were astounding, including over $1 billion from his family crypto side hustles, including making $635 million from those Trump meme coins and another $500 million from World Liberty Financial, the crypto venture the 80-year-old founded with his sons Don Jr. and Eric that sells products including, quote, governance tokens. Now, the response to this release was swift, with most of us who are not cocooned off from reality calling to attention the juxtaposition of the current state of affairs in the country, where people are struggling to afford groceries while the president enriches himself to the tune of billions and is just renovating the White House on the daily like a rich wine mom during COVID. But still, we're expected to believe he's the man of the people.
That's very frustrating to actually hear that. And like I said, I don't do the politics and stuff, but to hear that come from another American that, you know, is not getting $2 million put in their pocket.
$2 billion.
$2 billion, $2 million, $2 trillion. You know, that's a lot of money. You know, that's a lot of money, and that would help out a lot of people around here. A lot of homeless people. You could open shelters. You could really help somebody out with that.
Somebody's making money on the side. It's not me. That's all I got to say.
Is it frustrating?
It's frustrating that you see your president getting richer and richer, and the middle class is getting poor. And that's about it.
Life in America right now, the economy's tough. People are struggling, you know, and hopefully it'll change.
He definitely made lots of promises, and he made them seem like they were going to come a lot quicker, faster than they actually were to ever come or ever will come. Like 90% of all the elections in the past, you know, the candidates, they promised the moon and fall short at the end of the day. But I mean, I don't think it was the Donald Trump that we saw in 2016, and I don't think that he can make up for it in what's left of his current term.
And while Trump took part in a softball interview with CNBC's Joe Kernan on Thursday, who asked him about his latest presidential payday and mentioned how long they had known each other, because that's important, Kernan pointed out that the 10-figure sum that Trump made in crypto was, quote, outsized, and asked whether he knew about the ventures his sons were making. Trump claimed he could know about their profits if he wanted to.
One in AI.
In the disclosure this week, the amount of money that you and the family made in crypto, it was an outsized number. I was just asking, were you know about the crypto ventures? So that was just something.
By the way, I could know about it. I didn't.
Right.
I mean, there's nothing illegal. There's nothing wrong with it. I could know.
There's a specific, I remember Title 18, Section 208 from Congress, you, the Vice President, and you do not have, you would have to recuse yourself.
I didn't even know that.
You would have to recuse yourself on every decision that could, running the country, that could have anything to do with you. So it just isn't feasible to do it.
Well, I feel.
At that point, Kernan cited Title 18, Section 208 of the U.S. Code, which prohibits executive branch officials from taking part in government matters that directly affect their own financial interests or those of their family or close associates. And Trump just laughed it off, saying, you know, I didn't even know that.
I think we shouldn't be surprised that your businesses are doing well, but how would you counter critics that say you're using the presidency to enrich yourself and your family?
Well, in a lot of ways, if you think about it, the stock has got up so much. The stock market today, it's up 500 points. It's up to almost 53,000. You know, I watched your show and you had somebody on, one of your brilliant analysts, and they said if I had won the election, they said if President Trump could get the stock market to anywhere near 50,000, that would be an unbelievable achievement, and that was over 4 years. In other words, at the end of his term, 4 years, if he could get anywhere near 50,000, that would be, well, it's at 53,000, just a couple of points short of 53,000 right now, and that's essentially after a little bit more than a year.
But do you worry that if the Democrats were to win the House, that there's going to be endless investigations of you and your administration?
Well, you know, I don't do anything having to do with my business. My kids run it. I put a lot of money. I had a lot of money, and I have a lot of money, and I've made money. You know, I'm a business person. I'm a really good business person. I've made money. I've made a tremendous amount of money, more than I would have ever thought I would have made. And I let people invest it. I don't even know who they are, but it's given to big firms like that are on your show all the time. My son, Eric, handles it. I don't talk to him about things such as this. I think I'd be allowed to. I'm not sure even what the status is, but I don't. Well, and he gives it into these like semi-blind trusts or blind trusts where people invest. There was a story today about Jensen Wang, who's fantastic, NVIDIA, and that I have some stock. I think it's very small. I think it's one of many companies that one of the big Wall Street firms invests in. So they said, oh, Trump has some stock in there. But I don't care about that. You know why I don't care? Yeah. Because I have a much bigger purpose. You know, this is the Oval Office. It's a much bigger purpose than whether or not I make money.
He's so obvious about it, and he's so brazen that he just knows we're not going to do shit. That's basically what he's saying out here. But in a surprise turn of events, when it was over to Fox News to cover it, as they often coddle him, they were surprisingly upfront in their verbiage, to the point that if it weren't for the Fox News header, to be honest, I would think I was listening to a different network. Because while the president likes to claim he doesn't, quote, have anything to do with his business and that, quote, my kids run it, it appears the Murdoch-ran network didn't get the same memo CNBC's Joe Kernan did to just compliment the president and move on.
We have seen 10-figure business deals breaking the Trump family's way for rare earth minerals and for cryptocurrency. The Wall Street Journal editorial board writes, assuming all of this is legal, it's still an unseemly display of using the presidency for family profit. It's hard to believe the Trump boys would be able to do the same deals if Dad wasn't in the Oval Office. The main difference between Hunter Biden's foreign dealings and the Trump projects is that the Trumps are brazenly open about theirs.
It's the biggest grift of all time. Donald Trump has turned the White House into his own ATM.
Last year, the Wall Street Journal reported about Binance, the crypto exchange. Binance took steps that catapulted the Trump family venture's new stablecoin product, enhancing its credibility and pushing its market capitalization up from $127 million to over $2.1 billion. Its incarcerated co-founder then earned a presidential pardon.
I do not have any business relationship with any of the sons of President Trump.
The president insists with the stock market going up, a rising tide lifts all boats.
So we're all profiting. I'm profiting because I have a lot of money and a lot of cash, and I give it to institutions. I don't know if they know what they're doing or not, but they buy a vast array of things.
A new interview with President Trump just finished airing on CNBC, and in it, the president was asked if he knew that the family was getting into the crypto business. The president said he could know it wouldn't be illegal, and that he feels badly for his sons, Don Jr. and Eric, because any business decision that they make is so scrutinized.
And as the subject was brought on during Fox News' The Five, Jessica Tarlov, who is oftentimes the only voice of sanity, was quick to point out that enriching yourself while in office is far from patriotic while the rest of the country struggles.
It's the story. The Qataris give Donald Trump a $400 million gift/bribe. everybody, Democrats and Republicans, say, don't take it, don't take it. It's a national security threat. Also looks really bad. He's like, no, I love this thing, and I'm going to ride it to the opening of the Teddy Roosevelt Library. It's day one. I was listening to, after the Colorado primary last night, to the AG, Phil Weisner, who is going to become the governor after. And he was talking about his American story and how his mother was born in a concentration camp. And that her mother wanted to get to America because she knew that this was a place where you would be treated fairly and you would be able to succeed, which he has. He went on to clerk for Ruth Bader Ginsburg. He worked for Obama, and now he's going to be governor of Colorado. And that is what people think of when they think about America, right? A place where you can be born in a concentration camp and you can get here and you can provide this kind of life for your family.
So you just disproved your own point.
You
said it was a bet. You said people are thinking of the Qatari jet.
Well,
and then you say, no, they're thinking about this.
No,
Make up your mind.
I have made up my mind if you'd let me just finish my sentence.
I thought you had.
No, because you cut me off. That's not actually a period. It's an interruption. They're different. The average American believes in those ideals that Weisner is talking about, and they're looking at the reality on the ground, which is that they can't afford a good living. They can't afford to provide for their kids. They can't own their homes until they're in their 40s in some cases. And they're looking at the president on the Qatari jet, who just made $2.2 billion last year, $1.4 billion.
They aren't envious liberals like you.
No, they're not envious. They're mad that the system is rigged against us and that the president
Who rigs the system?
The president.
Oh, really? How does he rig it against them? Be specific.
Okay,
how does he rig it against them? And use the Qatari jet as an example.
Well, first of all, when you think about the examples of past presidents, like putting a peanut farm in a blind trust, you know how corrupt this is. But he's rigging the system because when his stupid meme coins, for instance, they made all the money and regular investors lost their money.
How does the Qatari jet affect anybody?
How is this a tax on people?
What?
I know that this would be much more beneficial for you if these were just taxes on people, where we just take the money. He didn't put a gun to anybody's head and took money from them.
Well, who did Hunter Biden put a gun to?
He put his gun to his own.
Now, of course, the irony is that Fox News helped build this man. Fox spent years telling its viewers that Trump was not a corrupt billionaire, but a heroic outsider, a man so rich he could not be bought, a man who would fight elites, a man who would clean up Washington, a man that would never engage in new wars in the Middle East. He's so focused on the people at home. And now, well, Fox's own audience, they're being confronted with the possibility that the whole pitch was backwards. Trump was absolutely not too rich to be corrupted. The presidency actually made him even richer. And this whole thing lands harder because, as I mentioned, people, they're not doing well out there. They're struggling. Americans are dealing with high rent prices, groceries, insurance costs, medical bills that are skyrocketing to the point that Republicans are screaming that Trump needs to get engaged with this issue. Meanwhile, Republican colleagues and Trump sycophants are gutting resources to help feed the poor, while of course bending the knee to a man who is swimming in crypto coins.
So according to the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, the states with the biggest decline in children receiving SNAP benefits are primarily states led by Republican lawmakers who supported the Trump administration's SNAP policy changes. Nonprofits in states like Arizona, which is a purple state, and Louisiana, a very red state, they say demand for food is rising. ProPublica reports that Arizona's largest food bank has seen a 15% increase in need this year, for about 300,000 more visits for people looking for food. What are you hearing from your perch?
Yeah, it's really not about what political party you belong to. I think we can all agree that our kids in one of the most wealthy countries in the world shouldn't be struggling with hunger this way, that parents, shouldn't have to choose between paying rent and putting groceries in the refrigerator or on the table. It doesn't make any sense. Last summer with these SNAP cuts, this program that really prevents kids from going hungry like they're going to be doing this summer. I mean, this summer kids are really heading for a summer where there's going to be a lot of hunger. It doesn't have to be that way, Fortunately, Congress is negotiating the Farm Bill right now, and it's an opportunity to reverse some of these cuts or delay them anyway. And I'm hoping that everybody that's listening can urge their senators to restore the SNAP benefits for our kids and for our families and for our communities across the country.
And this is where the whole July 4th spectacle becomes part of the same story and leaves a foul taste in anyone who's paying attention's mouth. Trump is trying to wrap himself in the flag, America's 250th birthday, of course, so he wants military flyovers, fireworks, a massive patriotic production. While he's selling patriotism, the financial disclosures show that he's making immense profit from it. He wants Americans to look at the sky and see fireworks, but the real story is on his balance sheet, and even Fox News cannot deny it.
New Midas merch. Head to store.MeidasTouch.com today and get yourself the best pro-democracy gear and show your support. That's store.MeidasTouch.com.